Scott Nichols, Tina Nichols. My children are 17, 15, 13. We live here at Saddle Ridge here in Cypress, Texas. Today we've got Marcos AC coming in to install 2 units, the main unit downstairs and the main unit for the upstairs bedrooms. It's time to get them replaced. They've been in service for almost 20 years, had some issues during the winter with the furnace, and thought it was perfect timing just to replace everything and make a change.
We have a big issue with humidity in this house, as you can feel.
Edward was the guy that came to me and educated me and kind of taught me through the process what could be done, and it's really become that trusted relationship where you can sit there and talk through, here's the issue, what's the benefit, here's the need, is there a benefit to make a change or not, and when. So over the course of several years and getting to know him, I got complete trust in knowing him, and he gives me good advice on when's the right time to do something, and he's always been my trusted advisor when it comes to working on AC units.
He also replaced 2 units in our old house.
That's true.
Our old house, our units had tons of issues. And then once we started using Marcos, I just felt like we were getting honest answers.
When it came to asking advice for replacing a unit, we had a unit that went bad here, and he gave us advice on what unit, how to size it properly. Humidity control, that was a big issue with us, what unit to go with when we replaced our bedroom and office unit here. But this particular 2 units that are going in today, we went back and forth on several different units, and Edward in particular called me and has spent a tremendous amount of time going through with me, here's what this company can do and here's what they specialize in. And quite honestly, I was heading down a path of what I thought was, here's the company I want to go with and here's the 2 units I want to go with, to he brought a suggestion to me, and after researching and looking at it, we went with the Armstrong Pro Series. It's a 2-stage system, helps control that humidity and helps with everything, even more so than the single-stage unit that we had thought about putting in. So we went contrary to our original thought process to taking his advice, and we're now installing the Armstrong Pro Series. When was the freeze? That was
3 months.
in February. Our furnace broke upstairs, and I called him that day. He answered my phone. He had problems with his own family and his own household. He took my phone call and he talked about, and he walked me through what to look at and check when I was upstairs in my own attic and looking at the furnace. And that turned into a conversation of here's where you could go and why you might want to do, in changing out a system. And for me, it wasn't a need that I had to change out a system immediately and boom, here's what you should do. It was, here's your options, here's what you should look at, here's some things to maybe think about. And it was one of those back and forth for a couple of months before we decided finally, let's pull the trigger and now's the time. I can call their office, they pick up the phone, they respond immediately. For service calls, they've been out here within a matter of 2 or 3 days at the max to come help me. He takes my phone calls all the time, and it's just a matter of me being a customer. And for him, he's Mr. Professional. He wants to answer the phone, and that's the way he does it. He always picks up the phone when I call him. Can't think of a time we hadn't, actually.
Every time Marcos AC technicians come, they do a great job. They're clean, professional. They put on the booties when they come in, and when they install, they make sure they cover the floors so that it's nice and clean. And when they do leave, you can't even tell that they've been here. It's spotless.
It has become a personal relationship with the company, and the fact that the technicians come over. We've gotten to where we know some of the technicians. They'll come over and take care of servicing things in the attic and outside. They've cleaned up stuff up in the attic and serviced that. They've gone above and beyond, in my opinion, for changing that out, even changing out air filters when they didn't need to. It's been the best experience from an AC company. They always exceed their expectations when they're here, to be honest with you. They always do. They always have. They're dependable, and every time we've ever called them, they've been over quickly. They've taken care of everything for us quickly. You always know exactly where you stand and why. That to me is big in my book. If I'm gonna hire somebody to do a job, I don't want you to just throw me a quote and say, hey, you've got to replace this, here it is. Tell me a little bit about why. What am I doing, and why is it necessary? What's the need? What's my benefit if I'm gonna do that? And I always get that out of these guys. Tina primarily runs the thermostat and kind of has it set up on her phone. He'll sit down and run through all of that and say, here's how you do that, and make sure she's comfortable with it before we ever.
Before they leave, got a total understanding of how to work the app and the thermostat itself.
I believe that they are the way they are because they want to help customers. They know by servicing and taking care of a customer, you're going to have a customer for a lifetime. I totally believe that they're there to help people. They're not there to just sell a product. That's not the way they've run their business. I would totally recommend these guys. They would come in and help you out in every situation. I would recommend Marcos AC to all my neighbors. I'd say call Marcos AC because they're dependable and they will take care of you and help you in every possible way. I would expect the way that Marcos AC treats me, that's the way they treat everybody. That's exactly how they do their business. And I feel like he treats me as a friend and a great customer, but I feel like he's gonna do that with every person that he does business with. That's just him. That's the way they are.